Hey guys, I'm Adato, and this is my review for Labyrinth Lost by Zoraida Córdova. This book follows Alejandra Mortiz, aka Alex, who is a regular teenage girl trying to live a regular life, trying to find out who she is, except that she's also a bruja. Bruja, in the most basic sense, means that she's a witch. She is the middle child of 3. She has an older sister, a younger sister, and they all live with their mother in today's Brooklyn. The major difference between Alex and her sisters and every other bruja and brujo is that Alex actually does not want to be a bruja. She does not want these powers. She believes that her life and the life of everyone around her would be much safer if she did not have these powers. So she makes a plan to get rid of these powers during her Death Day ceremony. Death Day is, in a sense, the type of celebration that people have during Sweet 16s, quinceañeras, coming out parties, except that this is for brujas and brujos to accept their blessings from their ancestors, to accept their powers, and to just move on into being an official bruja. During her ceremony, Alex mixes something up, and instead of getting rid of her powers, she gets rid of her whole family and everyone around her. They get sent to a different dimension known as Los Lagos, where an evil bruja is trying to absorb their powers and the powers of that dimension to one day get out of it and, I guess, control other dimensions. So Alex joins up with this kid named Nova, who had mentioned that there is a way of getting rid of your powers, but he advised against it, and together they go to Los Lagos to save her family. Reading this story was like falling into a rabbit hole and entering Zoraida Córdova's very own wonderland. It read like a collection of fairy tales woven into this very well-developed story. The characters felt like they were almost immediately developed, immediately distinguished into different people, in particular the sisters and the mother. Here we have 4 female characters, and each character felt completely different. Not only were they strong women, but they weren't stereotypically strong. They were vulnerable too. We saw how the mother was very protective. She was very strong, but she was also very vulnerable. She wasn't invincible. And I really enjoyed that because in many books, we get a sense that these characters are just too unreal. But not in this book. Zoraida Córdova took inspiration from Latin American cultures and Latin American religions in order to write this book. I was excited about this book in the same way I'd be excited to read a historical fiction novel, in the sense that I hoped that this book would give me that thrill of wondering whether the magic in it was really based on the magic in reality in today's world. Just like in historical fiction, you wonder if these exciting moments were based on true events or were they veered off into a fictional, like very fictional story. I hope that makes sense, because in the Hispanic world, in the Latin community, magic is a topic of conversation. Even if some people don't believe it, there are people who do believe it. Even if people don't want to talk about it, this magic that she alludes to is very real. But if I didn't have Latin roots, if I didn't know about the reality of magic in this world, this book wouldn't make me wonder about it. This book wouldn't make me question if it's real. She created a world of her own, but I feel like I would have enjoyed it more if she would have stuck closer to what she researched. Even though this book wasn't for me, I still enjoyed it because it was a very whimsical read. It was very fun. It was very light. It was a very different story compared to all the other stories that are out there. It was very diverse in terms of sexuality, in terms of religion, in terms of race. And like I said, even though it wasn't for me, I think it's a very great thing to be able to read a book like this, because in today's world, we really need diverse books, and this is a great example of one. And I am so glad I was able to read it. I'm so happy that this book exists. So if you're looking for a very diverse read, this is it. If you're looking for a very fun read, this is it. If you're looking for a very different read, this is it. So I'm gonna end this video saying thank you to Zoraida Córdova for writing this book in today's world for a society that really needs diversity in its literature. Thank you so much. I hope you all go out and buy this book and support diverse books. And that's it. So take care, guys. Be happy. Peace.